Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the situation.
For the Nigerian government to stop killing each other and
All right, glad to have you back. Still Atlantic Blowout on Atlantic Television Network. And, well, I have someone in the studio here with me this morning to take a general look at what has been happening in the country and maybe let's know if actually that we can get to see a light at the end of the tunnel in this great nation. I have Dr. Edwin Jonathan, a public affairs analyst, and of course, he's a lecturer in the University of Port Harcourt, of University of Science and Technology. You're welcome to our show this morning. Good to see you again.
Same here, thank you. It's a privilege having me.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Well, and congratulations.
Yes,
you know, he's a barrister.
Yes.
Yes, and now he's gotten his PhD and is now a doctor. So congratulations on behalf of our station.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a quick look at what's happening around our country from the incessant, so to say, kidnapping of school children in the north, and the killings, the everything, the poverty rate, the unemployment rate. We just celebrated Youth World Skills Day. And then now, a big one this morning, the Army General that was kidnapped, that was murdered in his house, a whole Army General. That's talking about Major General Hassan Ahmed. And of course, they made away with the sister in the house. Where does this leave us? The insecurity rate in the country, and of course, I must say the very big one, the PIBB and the Electoral Act bill as well. So many things from one issue to the other without getting a solution to this, and it keeps coming and coming and coming. So, what do you think? What do you make of all of this?
Thank you very much for the privilege of having me. Basically, I think the challenge, as I've always said in many fora, is that those who are our leaders today have not been able to make the transition that ought to be made from being politicians to leaders. You see, as a politician, you canvass the views of your party, so you can win election and take control of governance. But once you're there, you must do a rethink. You must think of the greatest happiness of the greatest number of people, which is the very essence of governance. And then our Constitution makes it very clear in Section 14, if you read subsection 1 down, it says the welfare and security and welfare of the people, it should be the primary purpose of government. You know, you can say primary means basic. And if you want to look for other synonyms, it means the very essence of it. And if you lose the essence, what is left after you have lost the essence? You and I are, witnesses of so much that is going. People are not able to make that transition. And I'm doing a book that will soon be out, what I called it the evil of partisanship. Whoa. You see, we have come to the point where leaders only follow issues that are politically correct, not exactly correct by reason of the people. Why do we have government in the first place? You know, like somebody said, once purpose is, not known, abuse is inevitable. We are witnessing abuses in every area of governance. That's because most of those with every sense of responsibility and due respect to them, who are in government today, do not understand the essence of governance. You are governing with our resources. You are governing by our will. Everything is about us. But when you get there, the story changes. It becomes us versus them. Now the issue, let's look at the electoral bill, for instance. What is wrong with transmitting results electronically? And so there's, look at what is going on. People are arguing all manner. If it's okay, how do you subject that type of this to approval by the National Assembly and the NCC? When will that be? When will that be? And you know who appoints the chairman of NCC or whoever is going to govern NCC at any material point in time? It's an agency of the executive, and the executive...
And thereby INEC is...
hamstrung.
Hamstrung is caged,
Yes,
because
caged.
you cannot function as the electoral umpire to say that this is a party A, this and this. So the NCC also looks like it's going to have an edge over...
And this is very vital. The reason is that I remember the president, from time to time had always said that he's going to leave a legacy of good electoral system. And my dear, you know how long it's been to get this to happen. And now, people are fighting electronic transmission. The issue is, who is going to lose if results are transmitted electronically to show some semblance of credibility? Because until you correct the electoral system, the right caliber of leaders will not emerge. People are still waiting to carry ballot boxes and to write results even...
How about voting?
That's the issue.
How about the voting?
I don't know. You can vote.
You can transmit results electronically.
Yes.
So why can't we vote electronically?
It has been tried now in Nasarawa State, in Edo State, and in Ondo, and it worked very well. We are voting electronically. Why can't we transmit?
It's not very strong. You know what the card readers did in the election session. Yes, go on.
But there's room. I mean, somebody says the largest room on earth is the room for improvement. If we say yes now, we have at least 1 full year or more to make sure that the system works. And INEC, all you need to do is to fund INEC effectively. Say, look, we want to transmit results electronically, and we believe with the proper political will, it can be done. How much do you need? And we vote the money and get. Even if you want to add a rider, that from place in localities where network is not exactly, we can now collate manually. So there will be few and far between. So the power to rig excessively will be limited. That's not like a perfect system on earth, but we have to do something that shows
that is almost perfect.
I agree. A scintilla of perfection. That's what it is. But some people do not just want to move forward. We do not. The Constitution provides. The reason we have a Constitution, and that's why I keep telling people.
But is the Constitution, is it followed to the letter?
Our Constitution?
Yes, because
that's the issue.
Sometimes we'll see where even the lawmakers will deviate.
I agree.
And then just, try to make a particular person have this confidence in them, oh, they are my people, or so to say.
That's why I said, my dear, that the challenge we have is the evil of partisanship. You see, we have a constitution, and if this indeed is a constitutional democracy, it means everything we do must be consistent with constitutional provisions. The reason is so all over the world, democratic institution, is that people want to be sure what governance is all about. What their leaders, so they can say, oh, leader, no, so this is not the right thing to do. But if it's based on sentiments, you know how varied it can be. So what I think we have right now, we have always had for a long time now, is civilian government, which is even more very militarized. Okay, how do you say you have been able to provide security of the people when every day school children are being carried away? I mean, if somebody's heart is not bleeding, mine is bleeding. School children who have done nothing wrong, you take them to the forest, and the government can barefacedly look for people like Sheikh Gumi to negotiate with bandits and even pay them money on camera, and even open his mouth to say that bandits should be given amnesty.
I was going to come to that to ask you what you feel about Sheikh Gumi's comments. Because he said, I keep saying that because, I know very well that you cannot negotiate with terrorists, you understand? And then we're looking for the bandits. Who are the bandits? We know. They know where to get them if actually they are even sincere to put an end to this. And also, Gumi has also accused the military of being involved and doesn't want this to end. And even if they have issued a statement that it should guard its utterances. So we're still looking for the bandits.
Yes.
Are we still looking for the bandits?
We know the bandits now. How can we be looking for bandits?
What do we do?
When we have accessories after the fact. Gumi is an accessory after the fact.
So what would be
if a man has committed a crime and you are fronting for the man, negotiate, between parties, and you represent the man, you reach the man to give. Are you not an accessory after the fact? You are an accessory after the fact of banditry. And I do not understand why this government that claims that they have laws in place, criminal laws in place, criminal jurisprudence, cannot arrest Gumi and say, please, we don't know where the bandits are. But the last time we checked, you paid them money.
Guide us.
So why don't you show us where the bandits are? Even if it means letting us talk with them. Let us invite them. But now bandits, I mean, we don't know the bandits, but we know the man who pays the bandits, who collects money from people to pay the bandits.
And he also accused he's turning it into a religious war. So he said that it's the Christian soldiers that are killing the bandits. I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean?
My dear, it is unfortunate. You see, like I said, one forum I won't mention on air right now.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of people mount unity of this country. They just say it. But their body language and their actions suggest the negative. How do we say, where did Gumi find, statistically, that the soldiers that are killing bandits are Christians? Where did he get the figures from? How did he get that? Is it a Muslim-Christian thing? Or we have a bunch of men and women who have decided that there will be no peace in this country, who have government collaborators, which Gumi himself has been able to say generally, in a generic form, without telling us specific, Alhaji this, Major that, Pastor this other one, Imam this other person are involved. Let's have this name. Otherwise, if we do not have we cannot say that there's any measure of sincerity in fighting the bandits. And sorry, before you ask, what is most annoying? Gumi said that just the same way they gave amnesty to the South young men.
Agitators.
Yeah, they are agitating for a political reason, which is recognized by our constitution. Now, in the jurisprudence of economic and wealth distribution, that's what we call just desert. Just desert, informed discrimination. In other words, if all of us live in a particular place, and then the resources that comes from a particular area, that area that suffers much of the brunt of production should be discriminated. There should be discrimination in favor of them, legitimately, in terms of infrastructures and whatever gets to them.
Good life.
It's global. It's a global principle. Now, the South boys found that, look, this thing is not happening. And our political leaders are not helping matters. So let's agitate. And then you cannot, Yar'Adua, may God rest his soul. Yar'Adua, in his wisdom, said, no, we can't continue this. We cannot allow this to continue. We must settle this. And it's done. The people, they were fighting a political war. Those who are in prison were political prisoners. It's not the same thing as a man who decides that I'm going to kill, I'm going to maim, I'm going to kidnap, I'm going to rape women. To raise awareness of what? So what are the bandits looking for politically or socially?
Oh, okay.
That's the issue. What are they looking for? So they should tell us why they're doing banditry, why they're killing people. The South militants agitators say, look, give us just desert. Give us resource control. It's a political principle. So they were fighting on the basis of politics, not criminality.
Okay, now, in all of this, I was thinking, do you think that the lawmakers should play a role in this?
Yes, you see, my sister, sometimes if I find it difficult to blame our representatives. Do you know why?
Why?
You see, I call it the arrogance of numbers. Most of them, even if all of them that are represented in the National Assembly vote in a particular way, it will mean absolutely nothing. Because the majority will carry the day.
Yeah.
So I call it the arrogance of majority. The arrogance of overwhelming majority. They usually put it this way. I mean, it's fun to them, but it's hurting us. Yeah. They say the minority will have their say, but the majority will have their way. It is what is playing out in the PIB.
All right, we'll get to that. Okay, this is still Atlantic Blowout on Atlantic Television Network. We'll go for a short break, and we'll be right back. And, of course, when we're coming now, we're going straight to talk about the PIB and, of course, the outcome of yesterday's fallout of PIB in the National Assembly. Do join us again.
Frontline across the ocean
Going to the main.
to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today, only on ATN.
Okay, on this one. Please, call Mr. Labi. Mr. Labi, I need you. We're trying to connect
Okay.
Zoom.
Okay.
We anchor on the facts, breaking news and in-depth interviews on a wide range of topics.
Atlantic Television Network, home for in-depth reportage, facts, professionalism, all the news you need. Atlantic Television Network, Atlantic Television Network.
Atlantic Television Network, anchoring facts.
I'm taking him so that he, okay. He said they have sitting now. So I'm taking him first. Who is coming? Is it Deco? Okay, Francis is coming in now. Is Deco joining him too? Okay, let's take him first. Okay, because he has to go for sitting by 10. I'm ready now, let's go. So I'm taking the intro. Huh? I have to take it now. You can't just start asking questions. To a certain point, then I can go straight to him. Thank you for being there for us. Now, the House of Representatives was divided yesterday over a report of the Harmonization Committee on the Petroleum Industry Bill, called the PIB, at its plenary on Thursday. Now, Honorable Chinyere Igwe Rivers started the protest on the floor of the House, calling on his colleagues and shouting with the documents in his hand that they will not accept the harmonization report. Thereafter, other lawmakers from the South region joined him, raising alarm and opposing the 3% recommendation arrived at by the Harmonization Committee from the House, and the Senate finally arrived at for the Host Community Fund of the PIB. Now, the rowdy section began at about 2 noon before the arrival of Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila and other principal officers for the day's plenary. Where the roundness continued, the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and other principal officers were seen conferring with one another after they finally called for a closed-door session. Now, 2 weeks ago, the House had approved 5% as fund for host communities, while the Senate figure was 3% as against the 10% demanded by the host community. Now, House had maintained that they would guard their 5% position jealously. What I have joining me right now, Honorable Francis Charles, the Chairman, Southside Parliamentary. He joins us via Zoom. Hello, Honorable Francis.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Can you?
Good morning.
Yeah, good to see you. Can you just take us through? I know you have another sitting by 10 o'clock in just few minutes away from now. Can you tell us again what went wrong and what's going to happen and what are we expecting in the outcome of this?
Well, there are two issues on ground. As of yesterday, the issue of PIB, the 3% issue. I happen to be a member of the ad hoc committee on PIB, and we in the House of Reps recommended 5% for the host community, which for us, it was not even enough, but to show nationality and being nationalistic in handling the issues of this country. Without selfish, we agreed to that. And that was our position. But unfortunately, the Senate did 3%. And we are not comfortable with 3%. So that arose, the conference committee came out with 3%. And that arose what you saw yesterday. And I can tell you with the joint tax leadership of Femi Gbajabiamila, the matter was stepped down, the report was stepped down, to be considered some other time. And the consideration is that they should liaise with the committee in the Senate to see how we can appease and we can make it go well with all the interest group. Of course, you know what we've been suffering in the South Side, predominantly an oil producer.
Hello, Honorable Francis.
In region.
Okay, all right.
And then I'm in favor of 5% because the House itself is determined on this issue. Unfortunately, you see, most of us are not very nationalistic. I was shocked when somebody stood up to say this emir called him, his governor called him that he shouldn't agree 5%. And I said, for me, it was a shame to me. And I felt so embarrassed yesterday on the floor of the House. But these are issues that we expect, and this is Nigeria, of course, that people tend not to be nationalistic, but to be more used to their region. And people were talking issues of region, not issues that affects Nigeria, not issues that affects the future of Nigeria, not issues that will bring Nigeria to a point where everybody in the world will see Nigeria growing. But people decide to be selfish to talk about region. Unfortunately, this is the situation where we believe there's nothing that is difficult before God and what God cannot do. And I'm sure with the leadership we have, what the Speaker is doing, I think that will resolve this matter in favor of 5%. But if it is not resolved, I think that the PIB may die because we will not accept it.
And if he dies, what becomes of the host community, or what becomes of the public to expect? Yes.
What has become of us all these years? What has become of us all these years? We have been taking the ground, we have been suffering, we have been everything that is associated with exploration. We have taken the negative side of it. So what is it a new thing? But it will be to show Nigerians, because every prediction is 10, 15 years, oil will not be in the energy switch and all that. So I think that it will be a lesson to everybody. But I know and I believe God that, of course, I pray that the 5% works so that our suffering will not be in vain for all these years that we've been neglected.
Okay, Honorable Francis, what are the regulatory institutions to be expected? What do we expect?
There are two. There is a commission, that there is an authority.
Yeah.
There's just two regulatory institutions that will be expected. DPRA will be subsumed under them, and all the affiliate of Minister of Petroleum. NNPC will be a limited liability company registered under CAMA. This is what we expect. I think that every other part of PIB is accepted by everybody, except this issue of the poultry 5%. You know, so this is the issue.
Okay, could we say that that this has been the reason why the PIB has failed, the past administration failed to pass the PIB bill, in the wake of all of this?
Well, I may not be able.
Pardon me?
I may not be able to speak for us administration, but I know that from what we are told, I was only in the 8th Assembly, that what we're told is that it's been a very contentious issue. And these are always the area, host community and frontier exploration for.
Okay, very quickly before we let you go, because I know that by 10 you have another sitting. What should the public expect in the coming week? What should we expect? And the people of the Niger Delta region that are the host communities of
two things. For I think that today we will not be able to resolve this issue of host community. And you know we are going on our vacation today. It was supposed to be yesterday because of call to duty. We had to resume plenary today, 10 a.m. to discuss most probably the Electoral Act. So for the PIB, I know that we'll come back from the holidays, and by God's grace, maybe it will be properly addressed.
Okay, I was going to ask you finally on the Electoral Act. What do you make of it, the electronic dispatching of the results, election results? Which way forward?
Well, my own position and position of the majority is that there should be electronic transmission of results. Unfortunately, the Deputy Speaker presided over, and when the House, by voice vote, the year were higher than as much as I'm concerned. But because of the power of the presiding officer, he did the gavel in the way he understands. And we call that there should be a division of the House, proper division of that, which was not done. So I think that those are the issues that maybe handle this morning. It's a very sensitive issue, because if we don't get it right, every other thing cannot be right. But if we get it right, I think that leadership will become right. Because where a leader is elected by majority of the people, the sense of ownership, everybody owns it, and his responsibility on him, he will share and will know that people voted for him. But in this 21st century, there's somebody who's talking about manual. What is manual? As South Africa, all over the world, people are doing electronic, and small as South Africa, sorry to say that, can Nigeria not go electronic? And yet we chat, we use ATM, we do WhatsApp, and we are saying we don't have electricity in the area. Which place in Nigeria do they not have network? We go to our villages, we make call. Can one member say in his community cannot make call? None. And yet we are. I said here we're bringing flimsy excuses transmission of results. I think that Nigerians should know, and Nigerians should also support those of us who share in the opinion of ensuring, willing that this country should be stable, and this country should learn to do the right thing. For me, I support electronic voting, and I'll continue to do that.
Honorable Francis Charles, the Chairman, South Parliamentary, thank you so much for coming on Atlantic Blowouts this morning. Thank you for that incisive information. I just have to let you go because you don't go late for your sitting this morning. Thank you so much.
Of course, for a very serious matter.
Very serious matter. And we hope to get a very positive resolution, so to say, at the end of the plenary before you go on your recess.
By God's grace.
All right. Have a great day and a great weekend. And have a great deliberation. And good luck to you too. All right, Honorable Francis Charles, thank you so very much. And let's go for a short break, and we'll be right back with our discussion. Don't forget, Dr. Godwin Jonathan is very much around in the studio, and is ready to also throw light into this harmonization report of the PIB. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
But I remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the
For the Nigerian government to stop killing its people and
Glad to have you join us again. Now, Dr. Goodluck, I beg your pardon, Dr. Edwin Jonathan is still very much here, and then we throw light into this harmonization report of the PIB. Doc, Honorable Francis Charles, as Chairman South-South Parliamentary, has thrown light into the harmonization report on the PIB. Yes. First, it was 5% and now 3%. And what do you make of it? And I'm sure you saw the rally session yesterday. I saw when Honorable Chinyere Igwe and other colleague was agitating.
He did a great job.
We don't want this. It's unacceptable to us.
Yes.
We cannot do this. And I also saw the former governor of Bayelsa, Senator Dixon.
Yes.
I also saw Sekibo, also Rivers Southeast, said, no, I cannot be here and this decision will be taken. Do you think they are just doing this for just letting the people back home to know that, oh, we are very active? Or did you see sincerity in the part of the leaders, what we were doing yesterday in the harmonization bill report?
Well, I think they are sincere. They are hamstrung by the issue of majority in a democratic setting. The majority takes the day. They are sincere. They've raised their voice. They will not even bother to stand up and say anything. I think the Honorable Chinyere Igwe and others, they did a great job. But you see, they are hamstrung by the issue of majority.
Okay, can we have a sound on this for the interest of those who have not seen this report? Can we have a sound bite of this so that maybe you can give us a lead? Well, it's a fraud, it's a fraud, it's a fraud. That I can hear loud and clear. And this brings us to what Honorable Francis was saying. That someone, a certain lawmaker said, my emir called me, my governor called me. To do what? So, which means that Honorable Igwe is not out of place saying it's a fraud. Maybe because this is what angered them. I mean, just like you said, and he said too, you can't come to my house and take what belongs to me and expect me to fold my hands and say, oh, what you just go like that. So what do you make of all of this?
No, sincerely, when you say my emir called me, my local government chairman called me, whatever. The point is, like I said at the very outset, you see, what is the purpose of governance? What's the purpose of leadership? The National Assembly, by virtue of Section 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999, subsection 2, so they are supposed to make laws for the order and good government of this country. Now, the issue is, a lot of those who are in the majority ethnic groups have used our diversity against the country. Our diversity should be our strength, if properly managed. The Niger Delta people said, look, we bear the brunt of oil production, which we cannot properly even estimate exhaustively. Give us a little room for our development. Is anything wrong with that? You see, it's a global policy. You heard Honorable Francis say it. That it's a global policy. Those who are producing are usually accommodated more. Now, why would an emir call you? Because he feels that, oh no, we're asking for too much as a region. But if you do that for us, when it's your turn to, we will do it for you. That's the reason we have unity in diversity. And you know, I have canvassed the issue of resource control from a positive point of view, not a political point of view. And the reason we will not be able to get, not in the foreseeable future, is because a lot of people see it from a selfish and political point of view. My dear sister, if we agree on resource control, do you know that the granite pyramids will rise again? Do you know there will be another cocoa house? Do you know that the mines, for gold and whatever, will be properly managed on commercial?
Will be legal.
Will be legal and legitimately managed for government to have resources. So it means go home and produce
Whatever
or die.
You're good.
Produce whatever God has given you, manage it and give a little thing for the unity of the nation.
That brings us to the point of restructuring the
nation. Exactly. I keep, now let's just look at this issue of, it looks like a buzzword, but it has not. We have always restructured this country from the regional to states. So what is wrong in devolving more powers now to states, knowing that the federal government is far from the people, far away from the people? I do not think it is necessary for Governor Wike to wait for Buhari to come and construct roads in Port Harcourt. Doesn't make sense.
Or build bridges.
Like he's doing now.
Like flyovers.
That's why I like his approach, his infrastructure and all of that. But you see, because of the politics of majority and the arrogance of majority, people do not see why devolution of power is necessary for this government. So a lot of the people, with all those kind of testimony you're hearing, a lot of people are being driven by primordial sentiments of religion, primordial sentiments of ethnicity, primordial sentiments of themselves rather than the people. If the focus is about the people, this country will move forward. But for as long as we are thinking in terms of I'm from the north, I'm Fulani, I'm Yoruba, I'm this, I'm that, then we cannot move forward. Because look at, for instance, in response to the creation of NDDC, they have created all manner of commissions. They've created all manner of not central commission, not this one commission, and all of that, just to make sure they replicate what we have here. And even what we have here, they still control from the center.
So now, do you see? Well, I don't know if let me say, do you see a cabal in the
house?
In the house.
Of course, the same cabal.
They are also playing politics.
Yes, they are being controlled by the main master. With due respect to the president said he belongs to no one. And belongs to everybody. But with every sense of responsibility, the nepotic approach to governance is very glaring. It's even clear for the blind to see. You cannot say you belong to nobody, belong to everybody. And it's so difficult to respond to issues in a nationalistic way. You mount unity, but you do a different thing. And of course, a lot of these people who are in the house right now, they have to take their bidding from Mr. President. The body language of Mr. President or his, obvious instructions is what they're going to do. Now, they will not process it on the platform of, is it for the good government and welfare of citizens of this country? Because that is not necessary. That argument, that provision now is not politically correct. What is politically correct is which way is our party voting. That is why if you check the voting pattern, all the APC, representatives voted against the reforms.
Okay, now, Doc, let's also look at the security and the peaceful or the good or bad negative point of the whole of the outcome of this harmonization committee. They're supposed to harmonize and let peace reign, let everyone come to terms and understand that, yeah, if you are asking for 10%, and we cannot give you 10%, and we can give you this and this. Which before, when we had an interview with Honorable Igwe, he said, well, that the people to commend them is a gradual process.
Yes.
You're asking for 10, and we are giving 5, and what Senate is saying 3.
3, yes.
And now they want to bring it down, and which has even resulted into this agitation. Where does this leave the host community? let's just, if maybe, just maybe, and at the end of the day, and then the 3% is what, that the 5 is a no for them, because sometimes, you know, not sometimes, a lawmaker will say, there are brothers, Northern brothers are also saying that we have Niger, that's what I mean, we have host community, Niger Delta. We have Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, NDDC,
yes.
and we have 30% derivation. Why are you still asking for more? Is it too much to ask?
It's not too much. It's not even near what we need. Sincerely, 10% would have been ideal. But I also agree with Honorable Igwe and others that let's begin with 5%. But if the federal government goes down to 3%, it is simply a recipe for another round of crisis. I am a Niger Delta person, proudly so. You can bet that the federal government should be getting ready to face the Niger Delta again. Because you see, it is not proper for you to, you know, call me a fool and do it with
your face.
To my face, and then make it look like I can go to hell. That's an opportunity to also go to hell if you push us too far. Look, 5%, we can talk to our people, we can say, okay, let me also show you one of the most annoying part of this PIB bill. You redefine host communities to include pipeline communities.
Or oil bearing.
Oil bearing. To show that is even this so-called 5%, we're not going to be, it's not going to be a Niger Delta thing anymore. Because you have to, you know, include the communities where the pipelines are passed. Now, in every sense of the word, can a pipeline community be, be an oil-bearing community? Which oil is coming from there? You take from oil, it's just passing. And then the 30% for exploration. Where in the world is that done? We've been exploring for oil in those basins for only God knows how long. Billions have gone down the drain. How much have we got? We get water. So you are voting another 30% that will be shared by the people who say, okay, let's go and explore. They just share it and say we didn't find.
And it's even said that that the communities will not obstruct any oil exploration in their communities as well. So where does this leave the Niger Delta people, who also are asking, have written an open letter to the Senate by PANDEF, led by their the leader, elder statesman, Edwin Clark. They say, look, this is what we're asking for. Where does this leave us? On a very final note now, in the wake of all of this, what is your advice for Niger Delta people? That you are one of them. Probably one, like you said.
Yes. Do you know that those who govern us do not understand that in democracy, process, dialogue are legitimate instruments of governance and change? You don't say nobody should protest. And I keep telling them, thank God for how God runs this earth. It is Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. Today you are in governance. You have not always been, and you will not always be. Someday, some of these people, this table they are shaking, they want to break, they will need it. So for us, the Niger Delta people, we must remain as one. We must believe in our development. And then we must ensure that those, of course, definitely we have those who have black legs who want to undermine the movement. But if we stay strong, it's only a matter of time. The truth will prevail, and we will get a just desert, consistent, with the sufferings we are going through, to produce the very wealth that, are being shared in this nation. We're only saying, look, we are the ones suffering. Accommodate us a little bit more. The NDDC, the Niger Delta Ministry you talked about, my sister, have you asked how they operate? It's still governed from the center. It's still governed from the center. Before appropriations are made, there's a gulf between appropriation and release. You know that. Who is going to be NDDC chairman, who is going to be this, who is going to be that, is still determined by this. So I do not think that it has helped the Niger Delta people the way it ought to be.
All right. Dr. Dwayne Jonathan, a public affairs analyst and, of course, a lecturer at Rivers State University of Science and Technology. Thank you so very much, sir, for coming on.
We are now Rivers State University, simplicity.
Okay, sorry, Rivers State. But I still said Rivers State anyway.
Thank
you so very much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
All right, we will go for a break, and we'll be right back for another session. Don't go away.
From the line. across the ocean.
Thank you, my
To
sister.
the land beyond
So
the
we'll be calling you from
mountains,
time to time.
through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today, only on ATN.
We anchor on the facts, breaking news and in-depth interviews on a wide range of topics.
Atlantic Television Network, home for in-depth reportage, facts, professionalism, all the news you need. Atlantic Television Network. Atlantic Television Network.
Atlantic Television Network, anchoring facts.
Hello, my name is Sound Sultan. On the guitar is White Peak, on the keyboard AY, and my song is Motherland. Motherland, Ajudabile. People call it different names, but yeah, I christened it Motherland. A certain guy, a certain friend of ours who grew up in the area where I grew up, and he traveled out, lived a good life outside shores of Nigeria. Then he was deported. And when he got deported, you know, he hung himself. So that kind of taught me a lot of lessons about, you know, never giving up one and never looking down on yourself. And then, come on, area na area. You come back area, you come there, you come back area. So for me, I wrote that song up pen to paper because of my neighbor, my guy that hung himself on Easter Sunday. My name is Sound Sultan, and this is my Indani session. Enjoy it. Ajudabile, no matter where you go, make you not forget area, Nananja, Tio de Batile Wale, how I wish, say, I fit to reach you anywhere you day. Far away, that's one no say make you the bone area. Motherland, yo, Chine do somebody borrow you go, make you take travel go Chicago. Remember Nnamdi selling car, so you go America. All these people every day racing, still they stay for face me and face you. Promise say you're not gonna fashy them. Say every other month you gonna tashi them, yo. Hillary, where you been promised to marry? They wait so boy she done tarry. We should see you now inside ovation. You marry Oyibo from another nation. You smuggle my go get dough. Oyibo wife don't know. Next thing you know, she don't go report you. Wait till you know. Ajudabile. No matter where you go, make it not forget area. Nananja, Tio de Batile Wale, how I wish, say, I fit to reach you anywhere you day. Far away. That one no say make you the bone area. Motherland, yo. You been saying now 1 year, it can turn to 2 years. You don't go for 7 years, but you deserve 11 years. If one your papa buy, plus the tears your mother cry, buy your for Chicago. Then they miss you for Coco. Biadu.
Olaruwaju Omofa Sase, aka Sound Sultan, joins his creator, but his songs will continue to speak about the mysterious problems which faces the motherland, as he loves to call Nigeria motherland. Throughout his works, he diagnosed, through that work, he diagnosed Nigeria's problem and provide solution to them through songs intervention. But no matter what it is, the leaders have to, at this point, sit back and listen. You remember one of his songs say, the hunters, that said, one day the bushmates will catch the hunter. Well, the news came, it was shocking to all of us, and then that he's passed on. But we just pray that God, in his infinite mercy, that Allah will bless his soul. His saints been buried according to Islamic law. Well, I have some of us friends who actually are supposed to be on Zoom, but well, let's see what the network can help us to get them now. And I have one of Nigeria's sensational singer, the lady with a golden voice from the South region, the black attraction lady, who you know that when it comes to costume on stage, she's got the energy, she's got the stamina, she's got everything to make a song be interesting to you. Talking about Momo G, she joins us via Zoom. Hello, Muma.
Hi.
How you doing?
How are you today?
Good to see you again.
Yeah, same here. You look well.
You too there. Okay, very quickly, let me also say my sympathy also. I know Sultan is also one of you, and this great loss. So how would you describe San Sultan, and when you received the news of his death? How did you feel? Can you throw more light to us on this?
Sultan is one of a unique kind in the Nigerian music industry. It's difficult to have a replacement of Sultan because he's quite an enigma in his own unique, sensitive way. Sultan was one that was never in a hurry. As a matter of fact, as a friend to Sultan, he influenced me kind of. I learned a whole lot from him, never to be in a hurry to be where you want to be. Just take one day at a time, you know, and that's why if you look at the growth of Sultan, he was never like, it must be now. He takes his time, and then his style is unique. He imbibed a very different style from the regular, you know, and he never matter. It doesn't really matter. It didn't matter to him when he would get there, but he knew he has to pass his message through his songs. And unfortunately, I least expected the news, and I got the news. It broke me down for a couple of days, but
take it easy.
We are good. We have to move ahead. He led a good life. So Tan was one of those Nigerian youths that would think beyond his age. In fact, until I got very close, I never knew that Sultan was as young as he was. You know, you would think at 44 he reasons like 60, 65. You know, so yeah.
Okay, so what?
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we lost him, but we are consoled by the fact that God give it and He take it, and you know we will all go someday. But it's just so painful that when you do not expect someone to depart, they just depart. But it's part of nature, you know.
It's okay.
Yeah, you were saying something.
No, it's okay. So where does this leave in the music industry? Like his legacies and what's his expected of the music industry? I mean, he has a family that he's left behind. What becomes of them?
Well, like it's normal with every other family that loses a loved one. His children, his wife, they would love that he lived, but God knows best. So I'm sure they would cope somehow. It's painful to we outsiders, let alone his immediate family, his parents, his brothers and sisters. They will feel the pain. I also feel their pain. You know, I feel it a bit more even because as someone far away, and just someone who knew Sultan and who was privileged to be close to Sultan, I feel deeply pained that such a great talent would just depart so early. You know, I wished that he had, stayed longer, to impact more. Yeah, to impact more, and maybe mentor others to toe that line. But I'm sure by the grace of God, a few persons would take after him. And he has left a legacy. It's a challenge to the up and coming to be able to take take it from where he has left it to the next level, you know. Yeah.
So now the music industry, are you planning a concert like sent to be like a tribute to him after this time, or what? What are you planning?
Yeah, arrangements are on ground, and we are also looking a lot to hear from Baba D. And you know, once everything is set, I'm sure you'd be hearing what tribute the entertainment industry would accord to him.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I just said that in due time, the world will hear what tribute the entertainment industry and friends like us, you know, there are many of us, you know, we would be giving him the last respect. Okay, and then Sound Sultan will never be forgotten.
Okay, can you throw light to us about more of his legacies in the music industry?
Well, apart from the fact that he sings, Sultan's lifestyle is even more of a legacy than anything you can think of. You know, like he feels free, he's on the street, yet he's well packaged, well put together, he's calm, he you know, a lot of young persons had been under his tutelage, the little that I know. And Sultan is one that would do anything to help another, you know, so it is not a thing that one can even finish talking in an interview like this. But I also know that his songs had impacted so much in the lives of the youth and up and coming, and even the elderly, you know. Sultan touches you. He pricks your soul with his songs, and, you know, the pungent points and statements that he makes, and, you know, his vocal prowess is one thing that you can.
Yeah, I know the tears keep coming in. I don't know. I'm just being so emotional at this point.
And even ignore, you know, like when I heard in synchronization with the instrumental, I went into tears, and that's probably why I am putting on this dark shade. So, you know, yeah. Sultan's legacy would live on, and I'm quite sure his family, his friends like us, and the people in the industry, and Nigeria as a whole will not let his legacy die, because he has left good legacy.
All right. Thank you so much, Mumaji. Thank you so much for coming on Atlantic Blowout this morning and paying tribute to one of Nigeria's popular singer who just passed on. Thank you so much, Mumaji.
God bless you. I appreciate and keep up the good work too.
Thank you. You too. Stay blessed. Take it easy. Okay.
Bye.
All right. Take care. All right. This is as much time can take us on this segment right now. Jay Martins also sent his tribute, but I think because of the signal, we cannot play that for you for now. And other artists. Sound Sultan also featured in one of the popular soap on TV, The Flatmates, as Barrister Rotimi, who is also the lawyer to Baba Landlord. If you are a follower of that TV program, you will understand what I am saying. And we join everyone, of course, his family and friends and well-wishers and fans to pray that the Almighty Allah will bless his soul and then grants the family the fortitude to bear this loss. It's a great one. And to Nigeria and the music industry as well. Okay, this is Atlantic Blowout on Atlantic Network. We'll be right back. Just stay.
For 7 years, but you deserve 11 years. Even when your papa died, plus the tears your mother cried. Buy you for Chicago, then they miss you for Coco. Biadu for Canada, your mama still they wonder. Igba wolo to mapada oh, remember for Nigeria you get yawo. Ajuda bile, no matter where you go, make enough for yes, area, area, Nanaja, Tio de Batile Wale. I prefer to live like a lion in the jungle than to stay like a dog in the city. I prefer to live like a lion in the jungle than to stay like a dog in the city. I prefer to live like a lion in the jungle than stay like a dog in the city. I prefer to live like a lion in the jungle. I prefer to live like a lion in the jungle than to stay like a dog in the city. I prefer to live like a lion in the jungle than stay like a dog.
But I remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the situation.
For the Nigerian government to stop killing its people and
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
On the facts, breaking news and in-depth interviews on a wide range of topics.
Atlantic Television Network, home for in-depth reportage. Facts, professionalism, all the news you need. Atlantic Television Network. Atlantic Television Network.
Atlantic Television Network, anchoring facts.
What about Nigerians' preparation for the Tokyo Olympic Games? But there are many other countries that will be taking part in the games as well. Mr. Siri, what's happening with the other countries? Can you tell us more?
A whole lot has been happening across the other countries that will be taking part at the games. Some good, some bad, especially from Kenya, as Kenya was forced to drop 2 runners from its Olympic team just over a week before the Tokyo Games because they haven't taken the required number of out-of-competition doping tests. That has given 1,500-meter world champion Timothy Cherardi a last-minute place on the squad. Cherardi will replace 18-year-old Kama Etiang, who surprisingly finished second at the trials in a personal best time. Talking about Etiang, he hasn't met doping regulations that require Kenya's athletes to take at least 3 out-of-competition tests within a 10-month period of a major championship. The tests have to be at least 3 weeks apart. Another runner, United States-based 400 meters hurdler Moritale Mpoke Nadokila, was also taken off the team because he hasn't met the doping test requirements. And still on the issue of doping, 2 Russian swimmers set to compete at the Tokyo Olympic Games have been provisionally suspended by World Governing Body FINA for anti-doping violations. Alexander Kuzev and Veronika Popova-Andrusenko were suspended based on evidence supplied by the World Anti-Doping Agency, according to FINA. While Andrusenko competed for Russia in the 2012 and 2016 Olympics in several events, Kuzev would have been competing in his first Olympic Games. Both athletes were set to compete for the non-Federation Russians. The Russian Federation is barred from competing as a country in Tokyo because of ongoing doping issues found by a World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA. And in boxing, the third fight of the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder's trilogy has now been officially postponed and will not take place. Will now take place on definitely it will not take place on July 24th. The heavyweights were due to meet in a trilogy bout in Las Vegas this month. However, about a week ago, Fury and 9 other members of his camp tested positive for coronavirus. Fury stopped Wilder in their second fight after they battled to an exciting draw during their first meeting. They will now clash for the 3rd time on the 9th of October. And in motorsports, Formula 1 is making a break with history at this weekend's British Grand Prix with the introduction of a new weekend format that includes a second race in addition to the main event. It will be the first time in history that the Grand Prix is not the only Formula 1 race on the World Championship weekend. So-called sprint qualifying is a shorter race on Saturday afternoon that will decide the grid for the main race on Sunday. The starting order for the shorter race will have, which will be just over 100 kilometers in length, or about 1/3 of the distance of a Grand Prix, will be set in the normal qualifying session shifted to Friday afternoon. The hope is that it will spice up the action, add extra interest, and provide more competitive jeopardy throughout the weekend. And now to tennis at the Olympic Games, where a number of withdrawals keep piling up, as former medalist Victoria Azarenka and Angelique Kerber are the latest tennis stars to withdraw from the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. Azarenka, who is 31 years of age, won a bronze medal for Belarus in singles and a gold in mixed doubles at the 2012 Summer Games in London. Kerber, now 33, won the silver in singles for Germany at the 2016 Games in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Azarenka announced her decision on Instagram, citing challenges with the COVID-19 pandemic. Kerber posted on the Twitter handle that she needs a break for rest and recovery. And it is not all doomed for the tennis at the Olympic Games, as Novak Djokovic has confirmed he will take part in this summer's Olympic, despite previously admitting he was divided over traveling to Tokyo after his victory at the Wimbledon. The world number 1 is bidding to complete a calendar Grand Slam and a Golden Slam by winning all 4 majors as well as the Olympics, having already won the Australian Open, the French Open, in addition to the Wimbledon. Until date, only Steffi Graf has achieved a Golden Slam, while some withdraw. Others are hoping for a chance to represent their motherland in the basketball. Former women basketball NBA most valuable player Nneka Okumike has been notified by FIBA that her petition to play for her native country Nigeria in the upcoming Olympic Games was denied due to substantial involvement of more than 10 years with the Team USA. Ogumike is exploring all her options, including a possible application to the Court of Arbitration in Sports, sources disclosed. The court could expedite a full hearing if both sides agree FIBA could also allow Okumike to participate until there is a hearing. The Nigerian Basketball Federation filed an appeal to FIBA on behalf of Okumike and Elizabeth Williams. The federation wrote that Okumike and Williams were two of the top players that would have made our team more strongest at the games. Each player was given a consent by the United States of America Basketball to play for Nigeria. They also paid an administrative fee of $10,000 to do so, and they both hold Nigerian passport. In the aftermath of the Euro 2020, we can tell you that 5 people have been arrested in an ongoing investigation after England footballers were racially abused online following their Euro 2020 defeat. Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Jadon Sancho were targeted after they missed penalties in the Euro 2020 final. Chief Constable Mark Roberts said the abuse was utterly vile and that anyone found to be behind such crime will be tracked down and will face serious consequences for their shameful action. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has promised to ban people guilty of sending racist abuse to footballers from attending matches. He said he would ensure the football banning order regime is changed to crack down on racism. The UK Football Policing Unit said as of 13th of July, 897 football-related incidents and 264 arrests have been recorded across the country in the 24-hour period surrounding the final. And still in football, Serie A side clubs will be banned from wearing predominantly green shirts with effect from the 2022 and 2023 season onwards, following a change in the regulations. The rule will only apply to outfield players. The new rule will also apply to socks and shorts. If more than 3 colors are used, there must be a dominant color across the shirt, shorts, and socks. It is reported that television companies have called for a change as they fear green kits and the color of the pitch are too similar, causing players to blend in with their background, thus making watching the game difficult for television viewers. And of course, it is the end of the road again, yes, as Arjen Robben has retired from football for a second time at the age of 37. The former Netherlands international initially hung up his boots in 2019 before reversing the decision to return to his first club, that's Groningen, in the Dutch league. Injuries and the coronavirus pandemic marred the winger's second spell, and he announced his decision on Thursday. Robben won 2 Premier League titles, 2 League Cups, and an FA Cup with Chelsea during a stellar career. He also played at PSV Eindhoven, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, where he won the UEFA Champions League in 2013. He won 96 caps for his country, the Netherlands, scoring a total of 37 goals.
Wow, that's a player. I remember watching him play at the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa, and he was such a delight. So. A
delight indeed. One of the stars of the tournament in 2010, Arjen Robben led the Netherlands to their 3rd World Cup final overall and first in 32 years since 1978. Although he failed to lift the trophy during his playing career, he is well regarded as one of the best players to have emerged from the Dutch footballing nation.
So much in football and sporting and combating one too. And that's the show for today. Please join us again next week at the end of the show for the week today, and follow us up on all our social media handles. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. And Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. That's the show. Thank you. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.